get one.
All right, I'll find that one.
Okay, so we wanted to talk about our winners and losers of free agency so far. I guess I'll kick off because my name's at the top there. My winners so far is the Browns. I really liked what they've done defensively because I think that's what they really needed to address. They got Johnson, they got Jackson. They added another edge rusher. I just can't remember off the top of my head. But I really like what they've done there. And they've added a few pieces like depth guys as well as the offense. And I think where they were last year with these pieces they've added, I just like how their defense is shaping up to compete against someone like Lamar twice a year. Like if they can win those games, then of course, if you win in your division, you're most likely going to be in the playoffs.
Well,
So
you will be in the playoffs if you win your division.
Yes.
But yeah, I agree.
Yes.
That was their biggest hole. I think Baker really came on. And you got to add OBJ as a recruit to them. They didn't have him at all last year. So they're tracking very well. And Malik Jackson in the middle to run amok. Obviously, Cincinnati don't have an offensive line. They put traffic cones out there. Baltimore, they signed Zeitler. They needed to because their interior was shocking. Pittsburgh, they've had to get rid of all their offensive linemen. Malik Jackson was part of that Super Bowl run with Philly, and he was just a wrecker in the middle.
Yeah, isn't
he was on that defense for Denver when they won the Super Bowl. So
yeah, exactly right.
And you put him next to Myles Garrett.
Garrett on the edge. So now all of a sudden someone's going to have to go one-on-one. So pressure on the quarterback. They've helped that the backfield
secondary.
with Johnson. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Who have you got, Peps, for your big winner of free agency?
I just went the obvious one. I think we're talking about the Patriots. Belichick went pretty nuts last week.
Took the company card and just went spend on a shopping spree.
Yeah,
And he hasn't stopped. Like he's added a few more since last week. I think they've had 16 players in total or something. Like it's crazy.
And we had the stat with that immediate return on investment. You spend money, you generally get rewarded the next year. Belichick at the helm. And like we're saying, they didn't bring in any, franchise guys, top 10, top 40 guys in the league.
But they're like the B or C grade
quality
guys.
starters. They're
Starters, yeah.
quality
That you
starters.
hope that maybe a couple of them can take that
Find
step.
a gem.
Bingo.
Yeah, I went the Pats, and staying in the AFC East, I went the Jets as the
Do you want to do
losers.
winners first, and then we'll get to losers?
Oh, yeah, okay.
Sorry,
Because I haven't talked about my losers.
Sorry. I should be paying attention. I was just trying to read up and back up my clock.
Hang on, the Patriots haven't brought anyone.
So, Monks, what was your winner?
Yep. So you did allude to it before. The gang's back at Tampa Bay. Yep.
I think that's a good win.
And in that division, we talk about the Saints just having to claw to get to the salary cap.
Yeah.
No one knows what Atlanta are doing. Carolina, they're trying to get Deshaun Watson. They're
They're trying to get quarterback.
two teams drafting in the top 10 isn't a good sign for them. It's a great sign for the team picking 32 at Tampa Bay. So I definitely agree.
With the goat at the helm.
I've got the team that sort of made the first move by signing JJ Watt with the Cardinals. I think
They've had a good offseason. I reckon.
out west, you need to make moves to stay relevant. That's the best division in football. I don't care what anyone says. The Seahawks have Russell. You saw the splash that the Rams did. Bringing Stafford over. They've had to do a few creative moves on the salary cap. I think San Francisco just were riddled with injury last year. They've got Kyle Shanahan. They're going to get a good player. Whatever they decide to do with their draft pick, they're going to be very, very good next year. So Arizona, as the sort of like the baby brother there, they had to make moves. They signed JJ Watt. They got AJ Green. That was probably the one position they sort of had more than anyone.
Yeah,
But
we were talking about last week, weren't we?
they play three wide receivers every down, and sometimes
They like
they'll
to
put
spread.
five. Yeah, they'll put five out there. Their offensive line sort of improved. They've I think just with what they're healthy Chandler Jones, I think they're a real smoky to actually get a wild card and even upset the world. That they really match up well with the division teams, as it does. You get familiarity. Nope. That F word. I think they're a real chance to cause some upsets and shake some feathers next year. So I think by being in there first with the JJ Watt deal, it's a bit out of nowhere, but I think if he stays healthy, it's a completely different defense. Isaiah Simmons comes on another year in the middle there, so that's mine.
Did they add anyone at corner? Because I think for them, if I'm drafting for them, it's probably a back, considering Drake went to the Raiders, so maybe add someone with Edmonds. Unless you really like Edmonds and think he's going to have 200, 300 plus carries this year.
I think in Kingsbury's offense, they don't really give a shit.
Yeah, so that's what I'm thinking. Maybe not so much. So
Kyler's going to lead them in rushing.
Which is why I think maybe a corner then to round off that defense.
Yeah.
That, give those pass rushers that extra second of coverage
for sure.
they can get home. So.
And they'll be in the market for like Surtain or Farley from Virginia Tech. They'll be
Yeah.
That's probably the obvious one for mine as well.
Well, they've got Horn and Sancho Samuel Jr. as well to make us feel old. You've got
that makes me feel
Yeah.
old.
Sancho Samuel Jr. and Joyce Horn is
Jace.
Joe Horn.
Jace.
Jace?
Jace.
Yeah, Jace.
Joyce is an old white lady's name.
Sorry.
In a
Jace.
church with a joy.
Jace Horn is Joe Horn's son. So, yeah.
Unbelievable.
Wow.
So all those guys, those NFL players in their 40s with kids in their early 20s or a little bit younger. So, yeah.
To answer your question, they haven't picked anyone up a corner. And
Yeah.
with the hole that Patrick Peterson's going to leave, that might be somewhere that they could be a little bit vulnerable.
Yeah,
But I think
that'd be the
it's
address.
what they've sort of done is, and they've played their cards, so it's going to be hard if teams want to slide up against them. Yeah, thanks.
That's
They know what they need, so they're going to draft a corner. The issue.
Rodney Hudson, we didn't mention.
Oh yeah. Sorry, that was one for the offensive line.
yeah.
So,
Good pick.
great pickup, and they for dirt cheap. I don't know what the fuck the Raiders were doing, selling their offensive line.
Hey,
Or
Derek Carr.
Yeah. They're like, how do we get the number
I'm
one
telling you,
pick?
I hate this Derek Cole, man. I just want to give him a sack 15 times a game, man. I'm getting better.
Gruden's Grinders, that's the end there.
Losers?
For mine?
So, well,
you went first.
I went first. So,
He's been sitting there stewing his shit.
well, I'm picking on your Packers. They're my loser just purely because they've done nothing.
Yep.
They signed Aaron Jones, and I think they've re-signed one other bloke, and that's it.
Jamal Williams goes. He goes
Jamal
to
Windows. They've
goes
lost
to
guys,
Detroit.
haven't added anyone.
They
They've
could
just
have gone after some of these receivers.
No, who did they lose? I'm trying to think who they actually lost.
They kept both Smiths, or did one of the Smiths leave?
I think
They
they've
might
got-
have-
No, I think they've got both of them.
Yeah, Preston Smith's been a bit of a failure. But
Yeah, unfortunately.
Sedaris has been a beast. I think, but I think you're right. They haven't, and it's what we keep saying here. Like, give Aaron Rodgers another decent target he can
Yeah.
throw to, and
That's probably it.
they're a 13-win team without one. Like, again, it's sort of
Just one or two pieces.
do they need to draft one now? But now it's late 20s. They're out of those.
Maybe you
sort of,
add one dude in your secondary and get a receiver.
yeah. They re-signed our boy Kevin King, who had that game against Tampa Bay. My God, I think he got a ring sent to him from Tampa to thank him for that game that he played. But yeah, by doing nothing, you've actually hurt yourself. But I think they were never in a financial position to do everything either. So to keep afloat, I guess
Well,
when
they
you've
threw
got Aaron
Aaron
Rodgers.
Jones a big deal. So
And deserve it, I think, the way he's played the last few years.
you don't pay running backs, bro.
It seems to be the way, isn't it? It's so rude, isn't it? Such a tough position. And
Yeah,
I know,
you're
like, it's
cooked
not
by
how-
the time you're 27. because of
yeah,
all the
not to
hits
be
you've
able to earn
taken, yeah.
money at running backs.
Well, not to be able to make money. They make that money.
They make money.
But yeah.
That are,
Relative.
that are
But it's not like
defensive end
No.
or offensive tackle.
it's not like
money.
LT and stuff like that who were making bulk money coming
Well,
out.
again,
Like
but
even
again,
AP.
Shane-
AP is probably the last one of that kind of generational type of running back talent.
He's still bouncing around. God.
Yeah.
Peps, your
Is
loser.
it my turn?
No, let's skip you. Let's go to Monkey. So, I'm fucking with you guys. Who you've got?
I went the Jets. I went the hapless Jets.
They've made some moves.
They've made a few moves. I'm taking into account the money that they had to spend. I think they were.
They could have spent more.
I think they were third or fourth in terms of purse here. They bring in Carl Lawson and Sheldon
Carl
Rankins.
Lawson was the other one I was
That they strengthened their D line. Sure, Corey Davis isn't a bad receiver. He comes in. That's it. Like, with that money, and you saw what Belichick did. Bringing in guys from left, right, and center.
I think they've got some depth guys, but yeah, they're the big names, unfortunately.
Yeah, and for me, it's not enough to improve a shit team already.
Keelan Cole from the Jags.
Yeah, like
Me.
what's he ever done?
He had one good year, but you got to remember
Good
he's had
punt returner
he's
as
had that
Yeah,
too,
good punt
but he's had
returner, yeah.
potatoes throwing in ball, but doesn't help. He's going to Sam Donald, so
I think they're just a mess of an organisation. And
Well, yeah. If they don't know what they're doing, do they keep Darnold? Do they draft? You have to draft a quarterback at 2 because
they go Fields. I think they have to go Fields.
I think
they're
Wilson.
I'm going to go Wilson
You
too.
reckon?
Yeah, I think
it'll be
Wilson's
Wilson.
jumped
Really?
everyone's draft
What-
board.
Yeah.
Just that senior season he had. It's very sort of Joe Burrow-esque. He sort
Okay.
of came from nowhere, but really flashed. Moves a bit more. Fields is actually
These
falling
stocks-
down boards from everyone.
It's so funny that
Wow.
after they've finished playing,
That's when the real evaluation starts.
Well,
Yeah.
this month, I think by the end of this month, all the pro days will be done. I think there'll be 1 or 2 in early April, but
Yeah.
all the pro days and that are happening at the moment.
It's pretty good to see all these pro days on Instagram. Like, oh, he ran a 4.3. It's like, the camera's from like in front of him. You can't actually time him at all. But
I saw Justin Fields and he said, I ran a 4.4, wait until I run a 4.3 at the pro day, and like him practicing. And I was looking at it and I was watching it, and it's like where the clock stopped at 4.3, I was like, you still look like you're 2 yards away from the 40 line.
Yeah.
I'm thinking that's more like a 4.5 possibly, and maybe I'll give you a middle high 4.5, but
yeah.
That's still
I'm not
fucking
that's
quick
good
for a
Like,
quarterback.
that's good. That's good for a
Yeah.
quarterback. But if you're going to run a 4.3, I don't see it, bro.
29th of April, NFL draft. That is
30th AL time.
Yep.
Only a month and a bit away.
A month and change.
Yeah, I'm already
Week
working
2.
on my big board. So
yeah.
top 50.
Monks, have you
Love
got a
it.
loser?
Yep. I'm staying in the division. I'm going with the Saints.
Monks is just happy about his division over here.
Yeah, totally.
Oh, good God.
They haven't got the money to spend in free agency, so
I give them credit. They've done well considering the
From the
situation.
hole that they were in.
yeah. I mean, re-signing Winston, if that's the best you kind of.
Well, they got Nick Vanette, whatever his name is, the tight end today from Denver, 3-year,
Yeah.
some decent deal, which I think is another bullshit deal where they're just trying to work their salary cap out.
$9 billion one.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think, I guess in terms of potential for this year, they're probably sliding down
Yeah.
a fair bit.
Well, as a comparison, that Nick is a replacement for Cooks and Hill, who were left.
Yeah.
Like he's a nothing tight
Is
end,
Jared
honestly.
Cook retired?
No, he's just released him.
Picked up by the
He's 37.
Chargers. No.
Did you go Chargers? Yeah.
Was it Chargers?
Yeah,
Might have been
Jared Cook
Jared
for us.
Cook. Maybe Chargers.
He's old as sin.
He's old, but just red zone monster. Like will catch 8 touchdowns this year. I mean, if it is Herbert, that's a really good pickup. My loser, I've gone with Philadelphia. The hapless Philadelphia. They win the Super Bowl, and ever since then they've sort of been tracking down. Not so much for what they've done, but for what the NFC Beast have been up to. Obviously, Dallas re-signing Dak, that was the big move they had to do. The defense is still absolutely trash, but they're going to score a lot of points. We talked about what they have on offense, if that offensive line is healthy. And they can just draft defense. Just spend the first 3 picks on defense, get some young guys in there.
Yes.
Washington football team making some moves out there. Fitzmagic whipping the ball around. Curtis Samuel out there. He's got that connection with Ron Rivera from Carolina, as well as Scary Terry. They were college roommates. Pretty cool. That the defense is lights out. That's a sick defense.
Yeah, that front 7.
Yeah, exactly right. Scary stuff. And then sort of now, if you're a fantasy player, I would get Scary Terry and Samuel on there because Fitzmagic's just going to be whipping around. He has no...
Done good for Sean.
It's me lad.
Yeah, next to my right.
Yeah. Fitzmagic has no cares in the world. He will throw it in the tightest windows. So the offensive line has some questions. They've got Schreff on the tag. They'll shirt whatever he is. He's a guard. Doesn't matter what his name is. They need a 350-pound man.
Come here, boy.
Sorry, Brandon. and then obviously the Giants. We talked about Golladay, and I think they probably overpaid for him for someone with 2 years of production. Saquon gets back healthy, but they're actually their backfield and their defense. They've got Adoree Jackson in again, health questions. But across from Bradbury, they've got Randall back there.
They have Logan Ryan for them.
Logan Ryan in the slot, like
That's good. They got
their defensive backfield's very, very good, and they brought back Leonard Williams, probably playing. I think it's $20 million a year for defensive tackle.
A lot of money.
But they were one of those teams with money to spend.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's pretty good. They probably need a little bit more in the pass rush, but other than that, the line's pretty good. It's Daniel Jones has something like 25 fumbles and 30 interceptions in 2 years. So he's it's the Winston factor. If you can just hold onto the ball, they were that close to. I mean, granted they won 6 games, so they probably shouldn't have been close to a playoff game, but they're pretty close. The defense is really good. Yeah. I think if Jones gets rid of the turnovers,
fumbleitis.
I think, and Saquon comes back. Again, we don't talk about paying running backs, but he's coming off an ACL, but he's going to make Jones a lot better. Defensive have to pay attention to Saquon Barkley, which takes eyes off Ingram, Slayton, Golladay. There's weapons there now. It's purely up to and they'll know this year, does he get that 3rd-year bump like a Josh Allen? And they'll know at the end of the year, do we give him the 5th-year option or do we just, Trubisky this guy and go for the next quarterback?
So to finish your point off for you in summary, everyone else in that division's got better. Philly really haven't done enough. They've lost guys.
And then they're tracking down. They lost Wentz. They're not sure if they all in on Hurts, who was a
Well, I've seen a lot
second-round
of
pick.
rumors that they might move up.
Really?
Well, I think where are they at? They're at 6
6,
at the
yeah.
moment. Yeah, like they could get a quarterback at 6. Like Lance is probably going to be there,
It's
or
so
Fields,
cutthroat,
or
isn't it, the NFL?
Concern.
yeah, or they
Yeah.
could maybe, if the Dolphins aren't picking a quarterback, maybe they move up 3
How
to
many
get
games
a
did
guy they
Hurts
want.
Start last year, 3?
Oh, it's not many. Oh,
But he was
start,
pulled- he was
probably
pulled-
like 2, and I think he
Yeah.
might have
Played
in 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was pulled in the last game of the season. Like,
That's right, yeah.
For
Yeah.
Nate
For,
Sudfeld.
That's
Yes.
right, for Sudfeld.
And if they
They were
won that
tanking. They were tanking,
game,
let's be honest.
that's right. If they won that game, Giants would have gone
Yeah,
in.
yes.
That was the controversy there. But
Yeah.
you know, if you're waiting on Jalen Hurts to win you a game, so you're in with 6 wins.
Yeah, where Giants picking?
Yeah.
10 is Dallas.
So I think that's this kind of switch. So that's why Eagles would have been picking in the teens.
Eagles would have been 9,
Yeah.
but by losing they went to
Win
6.
So there you go. I think that'll be enough of our winners and losers.